Lira lived on a beautiful island. It floated in the sky shimmered with colors. Lira loved to watch the sunrise.
Bridges of light connected the islands. Lira dreamed of visiting them. She wanted to see new places. She was brave and curious. Lira explored every corner of her island. She knew the forests and caves. She loved her home, but she longed for adventure. One day, she found it. Lira discovered a hidden entrance. It led to an underground chamber. The chamber was filled with strange machines. They hummed with energy.
In the center stood a large crystal. It flickered weakly. Next to it was a machine. It looked ancient and powerful.
Lira felt drawn to it. As she touched the machine, a bright light filled the chamber. A voice boomed through the room. Lira was scared, but she listened.
I am the Sky Guardian. I protect all the floating islands. This machine controls our world, but it is failing.
The Sky Guardian told Lira about 3 powerful crystals. They were lost long ago. Lira had to find them. The crystals could save their entire world.
I am scared, but I'm also brave. I know I have to help. I promise I will find the lost crystals.
Lira set off on her journey. She used a bridge of light. It carried her to the island of whispering winds. The wind there never stopped.
The island is rocky and barren. The wind whistles through canyons. I can hear voices in the wind. They whisper my name.
Lira was scared. She knew the island was dangerous, but she had to find the crystal. She had to be brave. Section 5. Facing the Wind Whisperers. In this chapter, we delve into the mysterious and ethereal world of the Wind Whisperers, beings that are as elusive as the wind itself.
The voices, they belong to the Wind Whisperers. They are not just mere sounds carried by the wind. They are sentient beings with their own language and intentions.
They were creatures made of wind, their forms ever-changing and elusive. They moved with the grace of a breeze and the fury of a storm. They could control the air, bending it to their will. They surrounded Lira, their presence both awe-inspiring and terrifying.
I have to stay strong. I can do this. Lira knew that showing fear would only empower the Wind Whisperers.
The Wind Whisperers tried to scare Lira. They howled and shrieked, their voices merging with the howling wind, creating an eerie symphony of fear. They blew her towards the edge of a cliff, testing her resolve and her ability to stay grounded.
I need to be smart about this. Lira realized that brute strength would not help her. She needed to outthink the Wind Whisperers.
Lira used her quick thinking. She remembered the stories of old tales of how the Wind Whisperers could be outwitted. She found a cave where the wind was calm, a sanctuary from the relentless assault of the Wind Whisperers. Inside, she found the first crystal, a beacon of hope and a symbol of her perseverance. It glowed with a soft light, illuminating the cave and filling Lira with a renewed sense of purpose.
I did it. I found the first crystal. Lira's voice was filled with a mix of relief and determination, knowing that this was just the beginning of her journey. She stepped out of the cave, the crystal in hand, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Wind Whisperers had tested her, but she had proven her strength and cunning. The journey was far from over, but Lira felt a newfound confidence. The Wind Whisperers had not defeated her. They had only made her stronger. With the first crystal in her possession, Lira knew that she was one step closer to her ultimate goal. The wind whispered around her, but this time, it carried a message of respect and acknowledgement. The Wind Whisperers had become her allies in a way, their challenge a rite of passage that she had successfully navigated. Lira's journey continued, with the wind now at her back, guiding her forward. And so, Lira moved forward, the first crystal in hand, ready to face the next chapter of her adventure. The Wind Whisperers had tested her, but she had emerged victorious, stronger and more determined than ever.
Section 7. The Guardians of the Lake. In the heart of the enchanted forest, there lay a mystical lake, shimmering under the moonlight. This lake was not just any ordinary body of water. It was home to the legendary Guardians of the Lake.
The Guardians? They're so beautiful. Their presence was mesmerizing, almost otherworldly. Each guardian seemed to radiate an ethereal glow, their forms both delicate and powerful.
The Guardians were beautiful creatures. They were unlike anything Lira had ever seen before. Their bodies were adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change with every movement. They had scales and fins. They swam towards Lira with a grace that defied the natural laws of the world. Their movements were fluid, almost as if they were dancing in the water. Their eyes glowed with an eerie light. It was a light that seemed to pierce through the darkness, illuminating the depths of the lake and revealing secrets long forgotten.
I mean no harm. Lyra's voice was soft, almost a whisper, as she tried to convey her intentions to the Guardians. She knew that any sign of aggression could be disastrous. I'm just here for the crystal. Her eyes were fixed on the glowing crystal at the center of the lake, its light pulsating with a rhythm that seemed to match her heartbeat.
The Guardians spoke to Lira. Their voices were a harmonious blend of sounds, like a symphony of nature itself. Each word they spoke resonated with an ancient wisdom. They told her to leave. Their message was clear, yet there was a hint of sorrow in their tone, as if they understood the gravity of her quest, but were bound by their duty. They were sworn to protect the crystal. This crystal was not just a source of power, it was the heart of the lake, the very essence of the Guardian's existence.
Please, listen to me. Lyra's plea was filled with desperation. She knew that her time was running out and the fate of her world depended on this moment. I need the crystal to save my world. It's dying. Her voice cracked with emotion as she revealed the dire state of her homeland. The once vibrant lands were now withering away, and the crystal was their only hope.
Lira knew she couldn't fight them. She spoke to them with respect. She understood that these beings were not her enemies, but protectors of a sacred duty. She explained why she needed the crystal. Every word she spoke was laced with sincerity, as she recounted the suffering of her people and the devastation that had befallen her world. She told them about the dying world. The Guardians listened. Their expressions softened as they absorbed the weight of her words, the glow in their eyes dimming slightly.
Will you help me? Lyra's question hung in the air, a plea for mercy and understanding. She hoped that the Guardians would see the truth in her heart.
The Guardians listened. They could feel the sincerity in her voice, the urgency in her plea. The fate of two worlds now rested in their hands, and the decision they made would change everything.
The Guardians were moved by my story. They gave me the crystal. They knew I was the only hope for their world. Thank you all.
Lyra's final challenge awaited. She traveled to the island of burning skies. This island was covered in volcanoes. The air was hot and smoky. Lira knew this was the most dangerous island. The Sky Guardian told her about the Fire Phoenix. It guarded the last crystal. The Fire Phoenix was a magnificent creature, a being of pure energy and light. It was made of fire, its body a swirling mass of flames that danced and flickered with every movement. It soared through the sky above the volcanoes, its wings leaving trails of fire in the air. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. It had the final crystal, a glowing gem that pulsed with an inner light, said to hold the power to control the elements.
I climbed the highest volcano. The heat was unbearable. Smoke filled the air. I could barely breathe. Each step felt like a battle against the elements, but I had to reach the top. The fate of our world depended on it. My legs trembled, but I pushed on, driven by sheer determination.
The Fire Phoenix landed in front of her, its eyes burning with an ancient wisdom and power. It roared with a voice like thunder, shaking the very ground beneath her feet. The sound was deafening, a mix of fury and warning. Lira knew she couldn't fight it. The Fire Phoenix was too powerful, too majestic. She had to find another way. She had to reason with it. Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward, her hand outstretched. Hoping to connect with the creature on a deeper level, she spoke softly, her voice trembling but filled with resolve. Great Phoenix, I seek your aid. Our world is in peril and only you can help us. The Fire Phoenix looked at her, its eyes glowing brighter. There was a moment of silence, a tense pause as the creature considered her words. Then slowly it lowered its head, a sign of acceptance. Lira felt a surge of hope. She knew this was just the beginning of their journey together. Together they would face the challenges ahead, united by a common goal. The Fire Phoenix and the crystal would be the key to saving their world.
I need this crystal. Our world is dying. Please, you have to believe me.
Lira spoke with passion and honesty. The fire phoenix sensed Lira's pure heart. It knew she was telling the truth. It gave her the crystal. Lira had all three. Lira returned to her island. She placed the crystals in the ancient machine. It hummed back to life. The world was safe again. Lira was a hero. She had saved her world. The Sky Guardian appeared before her.
Thank you for your bravery, Lira.
The Sky Guardian told Lira that her journey wasn't over. There were many more adventures to be had. He gave her a special staff.
I knew that my life would never be the same. I was no longer just a girl from a floating island. I was a hero. I was ready for anything.